Sairam. We are talking about the early 80s in the earlier Parayanam. Continuing in that strain, in the early 80s, the government of Andhra Pradesh had declared Sri Sathya Sai Taluk as an administrative unit. The four corners of the Sathya Sai Taluk, arches were built welcoming people to the Sathya Sai Taluk by the Central Trust. It was around that time that Swami decided on two phenomenal service areas. One, of course, was the social service that Swami said we should take up in the rural parts of the Sathya Sai Taluk, and the other one was the sealing on desires. We'll go through this one by one. I remember somewhere during the summer of 1985, Swami talked to us about the importance of doing service in the villages. He said, social service is also tapas, a spiritual exercise. This is the beauty of the Sathya Sai message. It's not that one goes to the forest and engages in tapas or meditation for one's enlightenment and one's own let's say, reaching the self-realization. Swami teaches us that the route can also go through society to see God in the hearts of those around you and to serve them. It promotes the practical application of your knowledge, skills, and virtues. Wealth, scholarship, power, and prestige are all despicable if they are not directed towards moral ends. So Swami taught us that all the resources that we have, we are endowed with, should be used in the service of society. This is like the trusteeship. That is, all these are given to you not for your own aggrandizement, but for the service of society. And by serving society, you can realize the divine present in the hearts of all. Swami says, Ravana tried to win Sita by parading before her while she was a captive his might and wealth. But Sita threw a blade of grass in his direction and said that he was worth much less. For he had no mastery over his mind. The mind had rendered him a mean coward and thief. So Swami said that you all must take up the social service and you must spiritualize your life. Youth alone can transform youth. The youth of the villages will be inspired when they find that you, graduate and postgraduate students, in khaki work clothes. Swami had given all of us khaki dress. He said, in khaki clothes, evince practical interest in the cleanliness of the environs, the health of the villages, and in fulfilling their needs. You must bring the youth together and form them into a group which can, with the guidance of elders, maintain and expand the work done by you. So Swami wanted that the work that we do in the villages should have a lasting impact. It should not be that we go and do the work and come back and then it's forgotten. He said you must train the youth. You must also inspire the youth in those villages to take up that work. I remember in the 70s, this was what was done in the Sathya Sai college in Vrindavan. They were, at that time, there were students from all the surrounding villages. And they were hostel students. So Swami wanted that all these students should go to different villages and do service. It was under the National Social Service Scheme, NSS as they used to call it. So I remember as a student, we would go to villages, clean up the villages. And then what was the most beautiful experience was in the evening, we would have something like a public meeting. And I remember that two of our professors would give a talk about the ideals of Sanatana Dharma and also about Swami and his message for mankind. Both of them would talk in Kannada. Professor Narendra, the principal, and Professor R.G. Kulkarni, who was a very great poet and a literary giant in the Kannada language. Swami would tell the youth from these villages that they must take up this work, and as they were coming to our college, they would get all the necessary preliminary work done, and then Swami would send all of us to go to those villages and do service. I remember one village to which we went during the summer course also. Swami had taken busloads of all of us to that village. In that village, there was a discussion about whether a gopuram should be built for the temple. Many people felt that it was just a ornamental waste, whereas the others felt that it was a very important symbol of the temple, the religious part of the temple. And so they asked Swami this question, and Swami addressed it very beautifully in his discourse. I remember Swami told, see, when you look at a lawyer, you remember the case that is pending. When you look at the doctor, you remember the aches and pains that animate your body, that infect your, are there in your body. And so Swami said, when you look at the gopuram, you'll remember God who is there in the temple. And so Swami had taken all of us. I remember it was a beautiful experience. I think the name of the village was Kalkunte. We had gone there, and we spent quite a few hours in that village, cleaning up the village, and Swami gave a discourse. So this process had already started. Swami felt that the impact of the college must be felt on the surrounding villages. There's no point in having academic institution which only produces students or graduates for working in the cities and towns. Swami said the impact of this college should be felt by all the people around, all the villages around. The poor people should be benefited by what the students learn in these colleges. So Swami said, it is only youth who can transform youth. If elders go and speak to youth, it will not have much of impact. Swami said, if youth themselves go and speak, it will have a positive impact. And so Swami said, so if you talk about environmental cleanliness, the hygiene, health, and all such things, then definitely this will have an impact. Discover what their needs are so that we can attend to them. We can, for instance, open gruel centers for the aged poor and their dependents. You have to win their hearts through love. I think probably the most wonderful thing about the Sathya Sai education is it touches your heart. It makes you feel that you should love all those around you. It doesn't just sharpen your intellect. As Swami says, the Sathya Sai education teaches you to have the head of Shankara, the heart of Buddha, and the hands of Janaka. The head of Shankara signifying the sharpness of intellect with which he discriminated. Young Shankara went to the length and breadth of this country, dissecting all that is meaningless and superstitious, and then bringing clarity to Sanatana Dharma. And Buddha, Swami said, he had such a tender heart that just seeing one sick person, one dead person, and one old person was enough to transform him completely and to make him think seriously about the problems that all human beings face. And Swami said the hands of Janaka. Janaka was an able administrator. He was not only a spiritual aspirant, but he was a very good administrator. And Swami said the Sathya Sai student should be capable of all these three. He should have embedded in him the intellect of Shankara, the heart of Buddha, and the hands of Janaka. So, the opportunity to share love. In my personal experience, I found that this was the greatest thing that I enjoyed about the Sathya Sai education. When you go to the villages with their openness and their simplicity move you to tears, because even under such very, very difficult circumstances, they are cheerful. They depend so much on God, and they believe, they trust you, and they are very proud of the children from their village who are going out and who are studying and who have made some achievements. When love is planted and fostered, factions will disappear. So the antidote for factions, which is quite rampant in the villages, is love. Because factions arise because you feel that the resources are limited, and sharing them becomes the tough part. When you feel that you don't have enough resources, and in that it's also you should share it with someone, selfish desires come into play. But when you have love, selflessness comes into play, and therefore all the factions get destroyed, they disappear. Villages, Swami said, are basically good-natured, God-fearing folk. Politics as well as attractions of the city life have led them to the present impasse. So, Swami said that it is the influence of the city which has corrupted them. The political leaders and politics in general, which politics only divides, okay? Spirituality unites. And the attractions of the city life. Around that time, the TV had started coming into existence in India, and it brought into the homes of all people the glamours of the city life. See, what is shown is only the attractive side of city life, not all the difficulties and the troubles and the travails of traffic and so on that you face in the city. And therefore the villagers are very excited about the city life, and they don't understand what it means to stay in a village where you have plenty of fresh air, and where you have nature, lot of nature surrounding you and giving you the joy of that freshness. When they hear wise counsel from the lips of children, they are bound to be affected. Train yourself to speak in their own language to the gathering of villagers. I remember Swami called a group of students and made them into different sections, and Swami said, you should speak about health and hygiene, you must speak about the dharma, you must speak about a good life, a moral life, a ethical life, honesty, and all such noble traits. Swami said, all these which the villagers basically are there, they have this. Swami said, if students from the city start speaking about it, then they will know that it has a lot of value, and they will start practicing it. They thought they have come to the situation where they feel it is unfashionable to speak the truth. It is not fashionable to be honest and sincere and keep up the word. And Swami said, if they find that even educated students are now following this, then they will not give up the culture that is inherent in them. So Swami himself trained these students. I remember a group of about 15 or 20 students. Swami said, you should go to all the schools and colleges in these villages and talk to the youth. You must find out what are their difficulties, what are the problems they face, and then solutions can be found for all this. We can find solutions for all this, but you must go and enthuse them and give them the confidence and share your love with them. This is what Swami said. When you have offered service for some days, I too shall proceed to these villages with you and bless your work and the villages you have served. In fact, Swami said, I will lead you into these villages. I was thinking that normally it is the Vedam boys who lead Swami in any procession. When Swami said, I will lead you in these villages, I thought maybe Swami just as a figure of speech, Swami must have said as a matter of and just like that. But actually when we went to the village, we found that Swami was leading us. Swami was going ahead, and in front of Swami, very beautifully, there were villagers who were offering flower petals, who were showering flower petals on Swami's path. And it was a sight to see, because we have not seen this kind of a welcome in the cities. And this was something that was very, very exciting to us. And in that summer, 1985, Swami said that we could go to the villages and do the service. We could take up some villages and go for a number of days, not just for a day, but for a number of days. We'll talk more about this in the next Parayanam session.